My hope is that people don't have to hit a low because they're able to consider not drinking as just as much of a viable option as drinking.
Laura McCowan has been sober for more than a decade now, but her difficult journey to recovery took years and an escalating series of crises caused by her alcohol use.
No, I was not self-motivated. I had to have my back up against the wall. I knew that losing custody of my daughter was a real possibility, and so that's what motivated me to try to stop and to go to that first meeting.
After her first Alcoholics Anonymous meeting, the Marblehead mother spent a year working on her sobriety before she was finally able to stop drinking for good.
When I got sober, I went to AA because that was what I thought you did if you needed to stop drinking. And while I very much appreciated AA, I also felt frustrated by it in many ways, namely that it was very patriarchal feeling in the texts. So there's a chapter called For the Wives. They haven't updated any of their language since it was founded.
AA began in 1935, born of a meeting between a New York stockbroker and an Ohio surgeon. Both men, self-identified as alcoholics, achieved sobriety through a mix of spiritual fellowship, medical knowledge, and their shared experience.
When you talk about AA, you either belong there because you have a severe problem, or you don't belong there. No matter kind of how tenuous your relationship with alcohol might be, there was no place for you to go if you were just curious about what it might be like to not drink anymore, or for a reason other than having an addiction.
McCowan credits AA for supporting her initial sobriety, but says some of the principles that helped her and more than 2 million other people address their addiction can dissuade others from joining. For example, the emphasis on anonymity.
If we're really going to address this stigma, and we're really going to say that this is a viable and wonderful life to live, alcohol-free and sober, why aren't we talking about it?
McCowan's first book, We Are the Luckiest, The Surprising Magic of a Sober Life, hit store shelves in early 2020.
I think that the sober curiosity, let's call it a movement, was growing before the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit, we had a mental health crisis, and so people were drinking more. Even people who maybe didn't necessarily have a problem before went into problematic territory because of what was going on. And so there was a bit of a reckoning with what the reality of one's life.
I am the founder of the Luckiest Club.
McCowan gained a significant following on social media and soon launched her own online sobriety support community, the Luckiest Club.
I started hosting meetings, and I took kind of the best parts of what I liked about AA and other programs and other traditions and built my own structure. No dogma, so to me that means we accept all paths to recovery. There's no one right way to do it.
Unlike AA, the Luckiest Club does charge a fee, as do some other programs, but now there are so many more options online, many of which are free: podcasts, apps, and social media groups.
The number of media properties that just exploded during that time in the sober curious, addiction, sobriety space is astronomical.
In 2023, McCowan released her second book, Push Off From Here.
That's more of a how-to, sort of 9 stepping stones to sort of address really any kind of change, but it's focused on sobriety.
She's now working on a third book and is encouraged by the notable change in the social stigma that surrounds sobriety.
There's the social acceptance of feeling part of versus separate from. I think also you get these drinks that look like cocktails, and you're getting the whole sensory experience of drinking. It takes the eyes off that person and the attention off that person.
Hi guys, JJ Watt here.
There's also been a noticeable increase in people with public profiles sharing their alcohol-free lifestyles. And for those whose curiosity is piqued,
what I want people to hear more than anything is you don't need a reason more than wanting to explore what your life would be like without drinking so much to try it. You don't need a reason more than that. And that's not what we've been told for so long.
And as Erica pointed out, Alcoholics Anonymous has helped more than 2 million people in recovery. They've provided life-saving support to so many people who struggle with substance use disorder.
And if you think that you suffer from substance use disorder, there are so many resources out there for you, including AA and the Luckiest Club. If you check out our websites, we have links to some of those programs that may suit your needs.
Up next, mocktails in the mainstream.